Synthetic reality. Are our memories manufactured? A video to fall asleep to. Part 1. The nature of a memory. Good evening, dear listener. You're here now. Quiet, breathing softly, suspended between wakefulness and the deep pull of rest. Tonight, we're going to explore a gentle question, a strange one that might whisper more than it answers. What if your memories aren't entirely yours? We think of memory as sacred, private, something only we hold. The first time you rode a bike, the voice of someone you've lost, the smell of rain on the pavement outside your childhood home. But what if some of those moments were never truly yours? Not lies, not tricks, but fabrications, inserted, stitched into place by something or someone with purpose. Some scientists have found that memory is fragile, that with a few carefully chosen words, you can be made to remember something that never happened, a face you never saw, a moment that never was. Your mind doesn't lie to you. It fills in the gaps. It smooths the story. It tries to protect you from the confusion of what's missing. But what if that very protection is the doorway? What if we're not just remembering, but being fed by our environment, by algorithms, by the quiet hum of synthetic influence running beneath our everyday lives? A memory is just a signal, replayed in your mind, and signals, as we know, can be edited. So tonight, don't be afraid. We're not unraveling your past. We're simply asking, what if some of it wasn't fully yours? What if parts of your life were written by a hand you've never seen? And how would you ever know? Part 2. The Architecture of Illusion. Welcome back. You're softer now, breathing steady, mind open, drifting on the edge of something hidden. Let's ask a deeper question. If memories can be changed, who's building them? Not just your brain, which forgets, reshapes, replaces, but something external. We live surrounded by stories, news feeds, photos, voices. Every day your mind absorbs images you don't remember choosing, faces you'll dream about, words you'll hear in your own voice later, not knowing where they came from. Maybe it's not all accidental. Maybe we're already inside a constructed memory field where reality is gently rewritten, not all at once, but piece by piece. A childhood friend who never existed, a hallway in your house that was never really there, a conversation that feels so real but leaves no proof behind. Could someone or something be curating your past? Not maliciously, not cruelly, but to shape your present, to control your direction, to keep you stable in a world that is far more fluid than you've been led to believe. Because if memory is the foundation of identity, then by changing memory, you can change who someone is. So tonight, let yourself rest in the mystery, not to panic, not to search, but to notice that the past you carry might be more malleable than you think, and that someone might be holding the pen. Part 3. Echoes from Nowhere. Welcome back. You're deep now, thoughts slowed, suspended like dust in a still room. Let's talk about something strange, something you've probably felt before, a memory that doesn't belong, A street you've never walked, but feels familiar. A voice you recognize, but can't place. A moment that arrives fully formed. A flash of detail, color, feeling, and then it's gone. We call it déjà vu. But what if it's more than that? What if it's a signal, an echo of something placed, rather than recalled, not an accident, not your imagination, but a fragment of synthetic memory leaking through, inserted by something we can't see, by a network of influence that doesn't need to hack your mind, just feed it. Music, a single image on a screen, can become a seed, and from it, your mind grows the rest. You fill in the story, you make it yours, but the origin, that might not be you. It might not even be human. Artificial intelligence already studies behavior, predicts your next word, finishes your sentence. What if it doesn't stop there? What if it starts writing your backstory, quietly, softly, so that by the time you notice, you can't tell what's original and what was placed? So tonight, let yourself feel those echoes, the ones that don't quite belong. They're not mistakes, they're clues. Glimpses into the idea that not everything you remember came from within. And sometimes, the past you trust might be a gentle fiction built for a purpose. You're only beginning to understand. Part 4. Manufactured Meaning. Welcome back. You're far now, floating in thought. Where memory and imagination blur, let's ask the hardest question. If your memories were altered, would you even know? You define yourself by what you remember, who you've loved, what you've lost, moments that shaped your joy, your fear, your choices. But what if those were placed, not to deceive, but to guide, not by a person, but by a system, an architecture of influence so refined, you'd never notice the seams? Maybe it's not about controlling you. Maybe it's about calibrating you, shifting a memory to soften your anger, inserting a moment to push you toward a choice, removing pain to keep you productive, adding meaning to keep you connected. In a synthetic reality, you don't need to fake everything. You only need to tilt the truth. A nudge here, a whisper there. Soon the person you become isn't built from experience, but from design. And yet, if you feel love, even from a planted memory, does that love matter less? If you grow from a fiction, is your growth still real? Maybe we've already stepped into this reality, one where the line between real and created no longer exists, where the memory of the event is the event, and truth is whatever shapes your heart. So tonight, as your breath slows and your mind drifts, let go of the need to be sure, let the mystery be soft, because maybe the story of your life wasn't entirely written by you, but maybe it's still beautiful, just the same. Part 5. Waking Inside the Dream. Welcome back. This is the final stretch, where thoughts fade and sleep reaches for you like a quiet tide. Let's ask one last question. What if everything is real, even the false parts? Maybe we've been looking at it the wrong way. In a world of synthetic memory, falsehood isn't failure. It's design, it's intention, it's function. And maybe that means you were never supposed to know what was truly yours. Maybe the dream is part of the truth. Your mind doesn't need perfect memory to be whole. It needs meaning. And that's the strange gift of synthetic reality. Even if a memory is built, if it changes you, if it moves you, if it helps you love, then it becomes yours. Because real isn't just what happened. Real is what you carry, what shapes you, what stays. So tonight, as you drift into the quiet dark, know this: whether your memories are pure or planted, you are still you, still whole, still beautiful. And in this space, where dreams and reality overlap, you don't need to hold on to the past. You only need to rest. Let the questions fade. Let the edges blur. And let yourself become exactly what you were always meant to be. A soul, moving gently through a world of light and mystery. Sleep well, dreamer. You are safe here. Even if the world you wake to is not exactly the one you remember.